Welcome back, viewers, to another edition of the Heads Up podcast. Neil Davis and the GOAT to go through the racing action for this weekend, a bit of sport talk, a bit of talking about whatever else we feel like talking about. Neil, good morning to you. It's Friday morning. It's been a week of wet weather across the North Island at least, but it looks like the tracks are going to be drying just in time for Saturday's racing. Could be a good track at Ellerslie, maybe a rain-affected track, but not too bad at Wanganui.
Yeah, I see Ellerslie's a dead 5 Friday morning, and should come back to a dead 4, maybe a good 3 by race day. So a fine weather forecast. Yeah, Wanganui, heavy 10, isn't it? And
heavy 10, but a bit of wind and sunshine, hopefully, to get it back to maybe a 7 or an 8 by lunchtime tomorrow. So not as bad as what it could have been given the amount of rain that So no, we'll touch on that, a couple of races or race from each venue shortly, but let's recap last week. Some very good performances, and I guess the whole world took notice of Levante at Counties with a devastating turn of foot to get over to the top of them in the Counties Bowl.
Sure was, wasn't it? And when I was doing the sectionals, I double checked them and agreed both times. And to run had sectional from the 400 to the 200 and about 10.4, so 10.47 it was, I think. And then just to carry on 10.8 from the 200 to the finish just shows not many horses can do that of a decent tempo.
So that's about 21.3, give or take.
Yeah.
For the last 400 metres.
Yeah.
What percentage of horses would be able to reel off the last 421.3?
Very few, just off a reasonable tempo, which it was. It wasn't a devastating tempo, but that's sort of you don't see it once in a blue moon. You only see it once in a blue moon, really. So I think the Railways is hers for the taking. And some people got 15, someone got 21s. They said before the race on the futures. It's down to $3 now, so great money if you got on early.
And the Counties Cup, back-to-back wins for Inner Twinkling. Opie Bossum at his brilliant best, just sat outside Justa Mays and put it to bed at about the 250 and was too strong to the line.
Yeah, I see it cost him a few days, though, for the overuse of the whip. And it was overused. So, and he got, 6 days for it? And I see there's a couple more during the week, too. They got 6 and 7, Tirapa on Wednesday, actually. Got 6 and 7 days for overuse of the whip. So I see NZTR meeting about how they can go forward with this. But my feeling is it's going to be banned eventually. So let's find a way we can all get there. I think it should be carried for safety reasons. Like if a horse is running off the track and going for the outside fence, he can tap over the shoulder to get it back on track. But I think they've got to find a way of maybe phasing it in. And I don't know. A lot of people are against banning the whip, but it's going to happen. So how do we do it?
Yeah, contentious issue, and obviously a contentious issue. The whole jockey's able to flaunt the rules and still keep the race, and the owners don't get penalised, but the jockey loses a few days' income. But yeah, it's a tricky situation all round, really. But I still think, well, would have been a Twinkling one anyway, probably.
Yeah, Sauvignon Blanc was unlucky. If she'd got out those 3 or 4 strides earlier, she was held up, and who knows? But if it got beaten by a nose,
yeah, exactly.
Case for throwing in an inquiry, even though you can't throw in an inquiry, just for the sake of doing it, I'd do it.
What about Rock on Wood at Awapuni, one of your favourite horses? Good pipe opener for the Captain Cook next Saturday at Trentham. Wasn't a big win from a margin point of view, but I think it was relatively comfortable.
Yeah, it was. I was expecting to win by more, but if you take into account the weight he was carrying, it was a reasonable tempo, and they've got reasonable horses on the inside of him. So from a Captain Cook point of view, I thought it was just ideal. He'll go forward. They're third up, and got Concert Hall to beat. I think he's paying $4 now on the futures market. So as long as you get a decent track, you can get a justified Group 1 there. What did you think of it?
Yeah, no, I thought it exactly what he needed going into next Saturday. So
Yeah.
he just needs a bit of luck, doesn't he? Also, it doesn't seem to get the luck in the big races.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if it'll be that big a field actually. The Captain Cook, so could be his race finally to win his Group 1. Bit like Windspell last year. Took had a lot of unluckies in big races and then broke the duck in the Captain Cook. So maybe it's Rock on Wood's turn this year.
Yeah, hopefully. Looking forward to that next week. Right, buddy, Australia let us down. I thought we were in.
Well, they had every opportunity, didn't they? Just didn't really take their opportunities and crooked throws and lineouts and goal kicking and all that. So no, we continue our slump, but I've got a plan to change that later in the show. So we won't spoil that one just yet. Let's start with Wanganui Race 7. Have a look at that one, Neil. The Wanganui Cup, sponsored by Steelform Roofing Group. The top two are out. Te Akau, Caliburn and Sheriff, two of the more fancied runners in the market. So you'll see, I think every horse below them has moved in. So it's as a result of the deductions, etc. So let's have a look. What do we got? A $5 favourite and Obsessive. Lisa Allpress, always hard to beat around the River City track. Played in Chipperfield, travelling down. I don't think this horse will mind the cut in the track. Must be pretty hard to beat.
Yeah, I agree. Had a good look at a last run at Awapuni, and the old Obsessive used to travel like he did when he was travelling at Awapuni, sort of head down, neck arched. And she had to go early and improve sort of 600 metres out wide in the open, while the leader and Lubea was, who was the one of that race? Mohaka?
Mohaka.
They were getting all favours near the fence, and Lisa had to sort of come wide in the open, got out wide on the turn, and he fought on really well, just like his old, the way he used to win. He fought on really hard, and it was good to see that third placing. So I think he'll be right now. Lisa Allpress, Clayton Chipperfield, and he's drawn off the fence, and I think that'll be imperative by this time of day. I can't see them coming out wide to the widest part of the straight, but I think it may be important to be off the fence. So I think Lisa Allpress in fine form looks the one to beat. You agree?
Yeah, $5 probably a reasonable price for it, actually. You look at some of these other horses.
Yeah.
I don't want to be too derogatory against, but how can Sky Fighter only be paying $10 when Obsessive is paying $5? So no, yep, I agree with you there. Maybe if Wanganui did cop a bit more rain, say on the day, a horse like Clone Makita, value at $10 as a real wet tracker. Had an excuse last time with a foot abscess coming out after the race. The trainer reported to the Snipes. So yeah, that might be a bit of value if the rains did come. Vinci's a pretty good horse, one.
Yeah.
Well, last card and did win at Ellerslie on New Year's Day in a good field. So that's a good field, actually.
Yeah, I remember Richie saying before the race that Vinci's probably looking for more ground, so and won really well. So drawn 3, which may be a negative this time of day, but we'll see. No, she's a good mare.
Ellerslie Race 7, the Eagle Technology Stakes, and you go through this field, Neil. You're a speed map man. The speed map gives you a bit of a clue to the winner, I think, in this race.
It sure does. Well, it looks like the Mitigator is going to lead, doesn't it? And Gino Severini will be content to trail, you'd think, or even if it tries to lead, the Mitigator will sit outside, and they aren't going to break any records from there unless something comes around and takes them on, but I can't see that. So the Mitigator won this last year, leading all the way, beating Bowden. So I think with Troy Harris on, with Sean Mackay out, he's as long as the inside's okay, which it normally is at Ellerslie on a dead to wet track. So I think the Mitigator can lead all the way.
Yeah, looks like.
You agree, do you, or what?
I do agree. 550 into 480. There has been a bit of a move for the Mitigator, and that's probably a good sign as well. So, no, I think this race sets up nicely for him. Remember, he is a Group 1 winner at the 1600 metres too, winning the Thorndon earlier this year. So
Yeah.
I think this is his pet distance. And as you say, I can't see anything that's really going to test him for the first 1,000+ metres of this race. And as George Simon might say during the call, they're leaving him alone at their peril.
Yeah. And you can see it happening, can't you? You can see if he
Yeah.
uses those words during the race, because you get Ellerslie, I do the sectional splits of the breakdowns in all races at Ellerslie, and it shows that 75% of races are run there at a slower than even tempo. A lot more races than most racetracks. And the mitigators, I think it's just that big sweeping bend from the 1,000 to the turn. Sort of get that, one off or on the rails and have to sit there until the 500 metre mark. So that's part of the reason I feel. So I can just see him leading and kicking and probably winning again, hopefully. It's a good little race.
Right. Couple of good cards at both venues. So looking forward to the action tomorrow. Then once that's all finished, we go to the All Black test against Argentina. I think 9:45 kickoff again. And I'm handing over the baton to one Ian Davis to give the sports tip out this week. You like something in this game, don't you, Neil?
Well, I was thinking before the game, before I looked at the odds, I thought, Argentina, All Blacks, you have to say the All Blacks will improve after seeing how they played against Australia and themselves. So maybe 6 or 7 points, but 17.5 points start, $1.95. The All Blacks can improve, but can they improve that much? I just can't see the way the game Argentinians play the game. It's just a negative game.
Yeah,
hard attacking, hard defence. It's I thought 1.95 was great.
Get on board then.
I was going to ask, and I thought, correct. You think, am I missing something here? Missing injured players or something?
I guess people are assuming the bounce back factor, but the bounce back factor didn't work last time, did they? After they lost to Australia, they lost against Argentina.
Right.
The last game of the year, the players, there's a bit of talk that they were disappointed when this tournament got shifted from New Zealand to Australia. Wrong mindset, wanting to get home, wanting to head over to Japan. Are their minds in the right place? Time will tell. I can't figure out this bloody All Black team, so that's why I leave it for you to make the call, mate. So I'll be cheering on Argentina plus 17.5.
No, I'm happy to come off the bench for that one. I'm pretty confident of it, but sport's a funny game, isn't it? Anyway, last week's question was not a hard one. It was who won last year's Counties Cup, and as a coincidence it was
this year's winner in a twinkling, going back to back. And I think 7 correct answers. Is that correct?
Yep. Give us
all
one
right.
number.
We'll choose number 5.
Number 5, Ian M. A long time subscriber. Get on you, Ian. I'll sort your multi out and put that up tomorrow morning for you before lunchtime. And there we go there. Right, a new question.
New question. So Argentina recorded their first ever victory against the All Blacks 2 weeks ago. Who was the last team to record their first ever victory against the All Blacks prior to Argentina? So which country was the last country to beat the All Blacks for the first time in history? So the most recent prior to Argentina. I think not too hard a question, no trick question there. Get your answers into Neil by email or text by Tuesday, and you're in the draw for next week's multi.
Yep. 027 352 6402 or formpro@formpro.co.nz by Tuesday night. You'd be fine, thank you. Yeah. What's next?
Well,
before we got started to go. Oh, got some bouquets here.
Yeah, well, I'll throw a little question out to you actually, Neil.
Yep.
It's been reasonably well publicised over the last week or two about the increase in turnover on New Zealand thoroughbreds, I guess season on season. So we're now 4 months through this season basically versus the 4 months of last season. What do you put the turnover increase down to in your opinion?
Well, the bigger fields, obviously, what TAB have always said, that the more horses in a race, the more turnover they have. And they have been really big fields since lockdown. And last year we were getting smaller, much smaller fields. So that's one of the main reasons I feel. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'd say there's probably economic factors at play as well, with the fact that people aren't spending money on overseas travel and like things like that. So yeah, I mean, it's positive. I guess we just want to see it continue, don't we?
Yeah, definitely, because every dollar they profit they make goes back into stake money and provides stake money for the owners who want to keep on owning horses, keeping them going. Yeah.
What about your sectionals? You could argue that's a new initiative from this time last year, so you should take a bit of credit there. Do you think, Neil?
Well, I'm getting a lot of positive feedback, and Bevan Sweeney and the guys on TV, Pops, all use the sectionals in their pre-race previews. And a good example yesterday was Bevan Sweeney mentioning Magic and Canto running the fastest last 200 metres last start, and one paid $21. So while the form didn't look flash, just an average third, you'd think, or third last start, the information was there on an excuse to back the horse. So people backing winners based on sectionals, they think maybe these sectionals from more winners. And information is gold, isn't it? Hong Kong had that philosophy. So
yeah, information is gold, which is a good segue into our next little topic, one of your favourite topics, the Levin jump outs. You've got some positive news to report, potentially.
Potentially, yeah. Actually, I got a text from Dave Cole the other day, actually, and he said, oh, geez, the Levin now have got video coverage of their jump outs. Oh, great. And so he checks the contact and had a look on the Levin site, and you have to contact Hazel George at the TAB to get the replays. So hopefully they aren't going to have to be requested every time we want them. Hopefully they're put up on YouTube so everyone can see them, and we can all work out which horse is which and which brown colour carrot wavy jockey is which horse. So it's a start anyway. So hopefully if they are giving video coverage of all the jump outs, that's good information for punters and owners and trainers as well, obviously.
No, that's good. I think if everyone bombards Hazel with emails and suggests that she just puts them up on a YouTube channel, then you'll get your wish without ever having to ask her every time they have a set of jump outs at Levin.
Good idea. Let's bombard it. Yeah.
The Cambridge synthetic track seems to, or the all-weather track, whatever you want to call it, seems to be getting some good press, Neil, which is a positive.
Yeah, sure is. And I watched the trials the other day, and horses seem to have confidence coming around the last bend there. Riders, Samantha Collett said it was very good, even though there was a bit of rain around. Horses didn't lose their confidence in their footing. So, gee, it looks really good. I'll tell you what, the biggest thing I enjoyed watching was the finish line was right on. The camera was right on the line at the finish. How many tracks in the country actually have that? That's sort of Ellersly's back a wee bit. Avondale's not great. Wanganui, what's that like there? It's
Wanganui's fraction, the cameras are, not too bad. I guess it all depends on the configuration of the stand, because obviously if you can have the cameras at a higher level, but exactly either above or below the judges box where the finish links is, you can get it. But like tracks like I know Tauranga, Avondale, the cameras are on the same level as the judges box, so obviously they can't be in line, so they're a few meters out, which does make it a little bit tricky.
Yeah. Okay. No, I thought that was
I'd say Ashburton actually would probably be the worst track in New Zealand for an angle at the finish.
Yeah.
Definitely favours the outside horse when you're watching the TV coverage. You got to move the outside horse up probably a head to a short neck almost.
Yeah.
So, but no, it'll be good. It'll be interesting to see come winter. I think that track's got a few meetings scheduled this winter coming, so it'll be good to see it. Good fields and good racing on that surface as opposed to a heavy 11 bog somewhere.
Yeah, no, looking forward to it. first rating most meetings in May, I think, isn't it? So
Is it May? Is it? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they may bring it forward if they get good reports. So it's over. Right here. Okay, it's time for a stump the goat, and I've got some questions on racing and cricket here. More specifically, the 2015 World Cup final, which I didn't know, but you were attending. You attended, didn't you?
The semi-final I did, not the
Semi-final.
final.
That's right. Oh, not the final, yeah.
All right. I remember, I think most cricket fans have probably tried to blank out that final, but fire away. We'll see how we go.
Okay, first couple of questions on racing. Danielle Johnson is currently leading with 71 wins, which is just amazing, eh? After 4 months, she's on track to get over 200 winners if he keeps that rate up. Okay, just to get it in context, how many winners did Lisa Allpress win to win last year's premiership?
I know it was less than 100.
Yep, you're right too. Yeah.
I think it was about 96 or 90. I'll go 96.
95. Yeah.
95.
That's pretty good. I'll give it to you. That's pretty good.
All right.
And,
yeah. I know obviously is cut short by lockdown, but yeah, even so.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It was too.
Yeah.
But in 2018, 2019, Lisa won it the previous season. How many winners did she ride there?
That was when she was fighting out with Parksy. I'd say about 144.
133. So closer.
Oh,
So yeah, that just shows how well Danielle's riding at 71. A good strike rate too, 4 point something. I think.
She dictated pretty well on Vern and me yesterday, didn't she?
Incredible. You can see it was unbeatable. You're back and running. You'd be home and home. That just gave it to. Other racing question. The Mitigator won last year's Eagle Technology race.
Mm-hmm.
What horse won it last year? We mentioned before that too. I won it last year, and another horse won the first race that day last year that raced in the New Zealand Cup this year. What was the horse?
A horse. So on that day at Ellerslie.
Yeah, 1 year ago.
Yeah. All right. First race.
First race from the Marsh stable.
Raced in the New Zealand Cup. Oh, that was Lincoln King.
Very good. Yep.
Yeah.
Almost won. Okay.
I remember that, and that was the day Dragon Leap threw away that race by running wide into illicit one.
Don't remind me of that. Craig Gross is actually riding really well at the moment, so he's come back.
He's still not on your Christmas card list, though, is he?
No, definitely not. Right. Okay. 2015 World Cup cricket tournament. Okay. Easy one to start with. Who was the captain of the Black Caps?
Brendan McCullum.
Very good. New Zealand demolished England in their pool game. Which New Zealand bowler recorded the best bowling figures for a match in Cricket World Cup 2015 by taking 7 for 33 in that match?
Tim Southey.
Close. It was actually. You're right.
Yeah, we smashed them. I think they got about 110, 115, and we knocked it off in about, well, it might have even been 9 or 10 overs. It was crazy.
That's right. Yeah, comes back now. Yeah,
it was a Friday afternoon, Valentine's Day, I think it was actually. Not that I have any connection from Valentine's Day in the cricket, but something like that.
Right. The group match between Australia and the Black Caps was perhaps the most exciting and thrilling match of the whole tournament.
Yep.
Australia batting first, we bowled out for 151 runs off only 32.2 overs. Mitchell Starc gave a tough time to the Black Caps with his bowling, as New Zealand collapsed from 4 for 130 to 146 for 9.
Until Kane hit a 6 to win the game.
Which ball?
Which ball?
Right. Which ball?
What? Which was it? The last ball of the second to last over?
That's right. Very good.
And who won the derby that day at Ellerslie?
2015.
Very good horse. Now a stallion. Won more than one derby.
not Mongolian
Yeah,
King, was it? Yeah.
Mongolian Khan.
Mongolian Khan, yeah.
Big bulk, stock and barrel in that good up the straight battle between the two of them. Yeah, that was on that same day. I remember that day well. And a horse called Procurement won the last race at Ellerslie that day, which was a very good result. Just quietly, Neil.
It's amazing how you connect certain events away from racing with races, and collect especially. Okay, here's one. New Zealand faced the Proteas in the semi-final, which you were at. Which batsman had a 6 to win the match for New Zealand from the penultimate ball?
Hairy Javelin, they call him, Grant Elliott.
That was the other question. What was his nickname? Very good. That was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it'd probably be the most electric. Just that last over itself would be the most, given the tension and what was at stake. I mean, I didn't go to the final at Lords, but that was probably similar, probably greater. But for me, that would be the most electric sporting atmosphere I've probably been in that night in Eden Park.
Amazing. Yeah, my eldest daughter was there too, and she's just couldn't believe it. It's just amazing. No, you can't create those kind of things, can you? That's an easy one. It's an easy one. Okay, here's the last one. This might stump you, actually. Okay. Which New Zealand batsman was the highest run scorer of the tournament?
Oh, that'd be pretty easy, I'd say. It'd have to be Martin Guptill because he got a 200 against the West Indies.
Correct. Okay. Who was the highest wicket taker of the tournament for the Black Caps?
It'll either be Bolt or Southey, but given because Southey got that 7 for against England, I'll say Southey.
It was Bolt.
It was Bolt.
One of the oh, pretty good. No, well done. That's some tricky questions there, but no, if you've been there.
Nah, not too tricky there, Neil. You're pretty kind to me this week.
Okay, I'm waiting for the next week then. Okay. Give me a specialist area you want us to give us some questions and any question viewers to NRL?
Nah, I don't. No, not really big on NRL, like history. No, anything goes of what I guess you call popular sport. Underwater hockey, I might struggle on, but
same here.
Well, it's funny, Melbourne Cup. I could probably recite the winners of the 80s and 90s Melbourne Cup easier than the last 5 years. It's funny how your brain retains stuff from further ago, but forgets stuff more recent.
Well, I think back in those days there were more Kiwis involved, weren't there? Kiwi horses and connections.
Yeah.
In the recent years, they haven't been, have they? So maybe part of the reason. It's the same for me too. Yeah. Anyway, we agree on both selections for Wanganui and Ellerslie. So we do there, and hopefully I can make my debut on the sports selections with a positive start. 17.5 points. Crikey.
Get on.
Really Christmas present. Yeah. Well, I multied into Rock on Wood in the big race next week. Anyway,
fair enough. No, it should be good. We'll be back next week. Yes.
Captain Cook Stakes, yeah.
Yep, Captain Cook Stakes. Looking forward to getting down there for that.
Yeah. That'd be a great day's racing, and hopefully they have fine weather between now and next week. Everyone, have a great weekend of punting.